Sorry, I just glanced over and saw Ilya's comment in my chat. Uh, now I feel weird saying it, but hey, welcome or welcome back. It is as always good to see you today. Damn it, Ilya. um, what's my line, Ilya? What's my line? Um, yeah, I hope you all have had a good day. Um, yeah, hello everyone in chat. Hello, Licky Boyle Pondu, Hag Hagadim, Celestial, Dolphin Noise Potatoes, Mamini, LaFay, Ilya, Bella, Rancid Spaghetti Goblin. I think I said LaFay, Empress. Uh, is that Chloe? Chloe Ram? Emily, Sky, Run Amok, Shava. Good to see all of you. Yeah, Heather Rose. I wanted to finish what we started this morning. Hello, Sunset. Because I thought I was going to finish it this morning, but alas, I did not. Hey, Potato. So, I was a little tired this morning, but we powered through. I'm a little tired today, because I'm always fucking tired. The hat is over here next to me. I'm not wearing it because this is a little more serious topic. So I'm not wearing the hat. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm not wearing the cowboy hat tonight. Hey, Gigi. Thank you, Gigi. I appreciate that. Hey, Rosalind. Welcome in. Hey, Tremor Huffin. Snooze away. Hey, Timace. Timace? I think I forgot how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Cammy, right? Is Tammy it? I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to finish Zach's video. I did back it up a couple of minutes, and I was looking at the transcript to see a few things. Thank you for the floating jewels, Gigi. I appreciate you. Let me see if I can move. Oh, here they are. Ooh, the floating heart. Oh, it's cut off. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, my body still thinks it's in Europe, so I'm starting to feel a little groggy. But I did want to finish. I did want to finish Zach's video, to try to combat any misinformation. Toward the end of the stream this morning, we got a little off track because people were bringing up things in the chat that really weren't relevant, in my opinion, and trying to turn getting FOIA requests into going IRL, and there was a huge argument about that. Hi, Sigma Alpha Beta Mom. And it kind of derailed the last part of the stream this morning. So as I've stated, in my opinion, getting a FOIA request for police reports is not going IRL. What you do with the information that you get could possibly be considered going IRL. I think it's all about the intent and what you do with that report. I know there was somebody that made a comment. Somebody tagged a lot of us in a post this morning that I do want to show really quick. Because they had a good question, I think. And let me see if I can find it. They tagged me and a lot of other people in it. Here we go. I'm the only one that responded to this person, it looks like. Their name is Psycho Morticia. Let me share my screen. I'm the only person that they tagged that has responded that I can see. I have a gnat flying around. Let me change my screen here. Hey Napa Girl. Hey Leaky Boil Pondu. Yeah, everything's online anyway. So this person made a post. They tagged Zach, Charlie Gold, Nikki, me, the ankle twice, Scar, Minka Ducati, Quirky Moments, Basil B, Karma's a Cat, Wyoma, Pulpy Syntax, and Tiny Blue. They tagged all of us in this post. So what they're saying here is there's a clear inconsistency. There's a clear inconsistency in how accountability is applied. Supporters of Nikki often question the girls about their relationships with problematic partners and criticize them for staying, yet they argue that Nikki... Nat is attacking me. Jesus. Ilya, you need to have Buster come get his brother. Hey, Tiny Blue. God dang it to what? Yet they argue that Nikki shouldn't have to address her own situation. The girls have faced scrutiny for remaining involved with partners accused of abuse, ALR and Tommy, or SA, Roz and Jeff. And people asked them directly whether those relationships were ongoing. Meanwhile, Nikki is not expected to answer similar questions, even though the person she's associated with is fully involved in Girl World, has threatened members of the community, gone IRL multiple times, and caused harm she's witnessed and at times contributed to. And imagine if the girls were out here publicly trying to clear their problematic partners' names after we've all witnessed the problematic behaviors firsthand. We can barely tolerate Roz staying with someone widely viewed as a misogynist. She gets dragged for that at every opportunity, as she should. Yet, somehow Nikki doesn't need to address her relationship with a violent partner who has inflicted harm on multiple people in the community. People simply want clarity about whether she is still connected to someone who has repeatedly endangered others. The standard should be consistent. So, I'm the only one that has replied so far, and this was my response. So first of all, I try to be consistent, as consistent as I can across everybody, and hold everybody to the same standard. I try. So my response was, I shouldn't respond to this, but I'm going to really quickly while I'm eating my lunch. Nikki has stated she is not in contact with Cam. Nikki has disavowed Cam's behavior and distanced herself from him. Nikki and Cam were never in a romantic relationship. The girls made aspects of their relationships with their partners our business, but I personally don't care if they're involved with someone or not. Many of us stated that ALR should leave Emily and that she wasn't good for her. Jeff was doxxed before I started reacting to Roz, but I disagree with him being doxxed. It's not our business. I've always stated that we should not dig into the people in the girls' lives. Some bad shite about Jeff was uncovered from someone digging into his life, but was it Girl World's place to find that? I would argue no. How Roz responded to the situation wasn't great considering she defended Jeff and the SA allegation/charge. I believe he was actually charged, is my question here. I think he was charged. I'm not 100% certain on that. And if I recall correctly, Rosie did try to defend Jeff. Nikki has not tried to clear Cam's name. Several of us, including Nikki, have said that we don't think Cam was responsible for some of the things that are being attributed to him. If it turns out we're wrong, we'll admit that. If ALR or QLR expressed fear of their ex-partners, then no, I would not want them to address them and put themselves in harm's way. If Kim is seen as unhinged / violent, why are people wanting Nikki to antagonize him by speaking on him? And then I just noted typing quickly, so hopefully it's clear. Is this Twinkies flashbacks? I don't know. It's Psycho Morticia. Is who it is. So, what were people asking about in a different live chat earlier today? I'm not sure, Heather Rose. I'm not sure what people were asking about. I'm not sure whose live chat. Yeah, Nikki has addressed this multiple times before. So I don't know what the issue is. Nikki has addressed this. She has apologized for any role that she may have played in any of Cam's behavior in the past, and she has altered her behavior, unlike the girls. So, if I miss saying hi to anybody, hi Squidney, hi Heather, hey Sky, hi Saving the Wrong Species. You saw a bit of a Zach stream on Twitch. He just wants to know where Nikki disavowed Cam. The community post isn't clear. She has said it multiple times. Whenever this stuff first happened back in December, she had said that she was no longer going to associate with him or put or put him on her channel anymore. Right? She has said that she doesn't agree with Cam's actions in multiple places. She has said it verbally, she has said it on Twitter, she has said it on YouTube and like post. Sorry, I was getting a spam call. I hope my dinner arrives. I ordered dinner because I didn't get my meal prep done yesterday. Hey, Cold Brew. So, if Zach is unable to look for information himself, I'm sorry, that's his problem. As he says about the girls, you know, I mean, this is his job. You know? He can look it up himself. I don't watch Zach on Twitch, so I haven't seen him and I was working, so but I do want to finish where's the closed captions?
I'm not gonna give them clout on
she says it every time Cam gets brought up because people keep asking. It's not hard to find it in her right. I ordered a salad. Can I give you a link to that stream or video? Which one, Jamie? Anytime Cam is brought up, Nikki says that she doesn't support what he's done, right? People keep pushing her and pushing her and pushing her. Zach has the little website that he uses to search transcripts. Let him use that to search for keywords. Right? He has spread a lot of information. Hi, literally. Right? I mean, he said that he scrolled back through her Twitter for the last like 7 months. She's commented on Twitter about it as well. She's put he can scroll she has a post. Right. Yeah, you're That is also true, Sigma Alpha Beta Mom. Nikki has moved content around since then because she was demonetized. So she has rearranged some content that possibly got flagged by things. So I don't know why I need to do Zach's work for him. He made a video in bad faith. Let me do Zach's job for him here. Even though, I have two other full-time jobs and YouTube is Zach's job, but he can't look up content. And yes, I am being shady and I don't give a fuck. It's 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Things have she has rearranged and moved things around. Let me look back here in her community tab post. It should still be here. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't just reach out to Nikki himself, to be honest. I mean, if he had just reached out and asked her a question, I'm sure she would have answered him. But let me scroll back here. Scroll, scroll, scroll. I need Scar to come on and do her scrolling on back. Nikki's second channel is an archive channel. Hey, Lizzie. Hey, my food's on the way. And also, I personally don't know why Nikki's personal relationships are any concern to people, to be quite frank. Okay, let me look here. Okay, I'm in December. Hi, Anastasia. How was Spain? I just got back from the Czech Republic. Okay. So it's the post that Nick that Zach actually showed himself. That's a horrible horrible and I know that she has said in yeah, I did read it. So this post says, for clarification, I am not Cam's accomplice. I never planned to do any interview with the person Rosie spoke about. That just would never be a thing here. I didn't know anything about this email. I really truly thought Rosie was lying. I think you all know this obviously had nothing to do with me, but I'm telling you 100% I was not a part of this. Cam acts alone and acts sometimes without thinking, and this was a step too far for me. So going forward, he is not going to be a part of or a guest on this channel. I do not condone his behavior at all. It's really genuinely shocked, confused, and upset me, so I'm sure many of you feel the same. I'm so damn sorry to anyone affected, and I understand if you need to distance yourself. This is supposed to be a safe place for everyone, and I will not waver from that. I'm sorry to all those who are hurt. I don't know what the fuck Cam was thinking, honestly. All I wanted to do here was support people and educate, and now I don't really know how to go forward with that. They should not diminish the words of truth from people like Chris. Victims still exist and matter, including Rosie. Always believe victims. Very importantly, please continue to support Chris and Britt. They had nothing to do with this either and deserve nothing but love, positivity, and support from the community. So, she's saying that she's no longer going to have him on the channel. Right? I believe I have heard her say in streams before that she's not in communication. What stream was that in? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But at the same time, if she were to be in communication, I wouldn't care. It's not my business. It's nobody's business who Nikki talks to. It's nobody's business who I talk to. It's nobody's business who anybody talks to. She's not supporting him. She's not his accomplice. She doesn't condone his behavior. She has people asking her multiple times in various streams, and she's always saying, I don't support what he's doing. We need proof she said it, Libby. I'm sorry. Cam said he was going to visit her. When? When did Cam say he was going to visit her? So people, here's the thing. Everybody has been saying that Cam is unhinged. He's crazy. He does all the kinds of crazy shit. Why do people want Nikki to possibly put herself in the line of fire? Cam says a lot of shit. So is it everybody's believing Cam? Okay, Cellar Door, that would have been 7 months ago. He hasn't been in a stream with Nikki since the beginning of December. Does that make sense? That was before the falling out. That was a long time ago, Cellar Door. No, just Jamie, I don't believe that is all Zach's video was about. Zach spread a lot of false information in this video, Jamie. You all can defend Zach all you want, but this video was absolute shit. He is spreading a lot of misinformation and taking people's words that are trolls, people that are supporters of Roz, of course, they're going to lie about it, and people that just don't like Nikki. So I'm sorry, but no, Zach's not getting a pass from me on this video. Oops, I'm on top chat, my bad. The accusation is they still are. They're still what? They're not in communication. Zach did no research on this video. He could have reached out to Nikki and asked a couple of very simple questions. But this video is coming across as an attack against Nikki whenever Cam is the one that Zach has the beef with. He is attributing all of these things to Nikki when Nikki had fuck all to do with it. He's attributing the FOIA request to Nikki. Zach is taking the word of random ass commenters. What do you mean I can't have a hug box cellar door? You're saying that Cam said he was going to visit Nikki when they were doing a stream together. That stream would have been at the beginning of December before the falling out. So I don't know what you're referring to, cellar door. I wasn't expecting Zach to make this video. So how am I supposed to go back through all of Nikki's videos and find specifically where she has said that she doesn't talk to Cam? So I just don't know what you're wanting me to do. Hi, Miss Dizzle. Liz, right? Lizzie, Miss Dizzle? Yep, we got two Lizzies. ZM is not trying to do anything but say they don't fuck with people who associate with Cam. So why does Zach need to say that? Has Zach been accused of being a supporter of Nikki? You know what? If Zach feels that way, then he can stop using Nikki's videos. He can stop using Nikki's research. He can stop using Nikki's archives. My food is here. I will be right back. Sorry, I misclicked. Um, I missed hitting my button. Well, Rosie Rosie has canceled her Friday member stream. Her Friday member stream. Thank you for subscribing, Miss Dizzle. You're asking questions, you're not attacking. I don't want Nikki canceled, but ZM has concerns. Well, ZM can ask Nikki questions instead of making this video full of misinformation. If Zach had actually done one iota of research, he would know that Nikki and Cam have never been in a relationship. This is the second time he stated they were in a romantic relationship. And that's just not true. He's attributing these FOIA requests. He's wrong about the FOIA requests too. He is attributing all of these things to Nikki that Nikki had nothing to do with. And the thing that Rosie put out on Instagram, or sorry, on Twitter was 2 years old. Right? A lot has happened in the last 2 years. I mean, the thing is, point blank, Zach can ask Nikki. Right? I am not Nikki. All I can tell you is what I know. And all I can tell you is what I've heard Nikki say in streams. I don't know which stream she said these things in because I don't archive Nikki's videos. Right? I listen to Nikki because I enjoy her content. Right? I'm not going to remember exactly which streams, and I'm not going to go find it for Zach. That's not my responsibility. Right? I can tell you that I've heard Nikki say that. Zach has his transcript searching site. He can find it. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I don't consider my community a hug box cellar door. Lots of people disagree with me with things. And that's fine. What I don't like is misinformation being spread, especially about my friend and somebody that I care about. Okay, let me... Sorry, let me, Yeah, and... Apparently Roz has somebody hacking her YouTube account reporting Zach's video or something. I don't know. I commented on her tweet. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. Ms. Butler says, why would he do that? They were a couple, or at least good friends. They were good friends. They were not in a relationship. I am telling you that point blank. Cam and Nikki, to my knowledge, and I've asked Nikki, they were never in a relationship. Why would Zach do that? Because he doesn't fucking know. He's never asked Nikki anything. He has never talked to Nikki. Can you do a FOIA request if you're not in the States? I'm asking for real. That I do not know, Empress. But you know what we can do? We can find out. And I can not share my personal email up on the screen dumbass. All right. Can non-US citizens request a FOIA? Yes. According to the AI overview from the USCIS website, from the USDA, the FOIA permits any person, regardless of citizenship. Okay, let's look here. Freedom of Information Act. Anything on here that's going to dox me? No. Who can make a FOIA request? Generally, any person, United States citizen or not, can make a FOIA request. Anybody can make a FOIA request. Did Nikki make a FOIA request? No, she did not. Let me scroll. Ilya says, I think there are some things lost in translation. I don't think Zach meant to be malicious with her video, but to Nikki's community, Zach looks like they're lying and reading misinformation. Well, because that's what he's doing, Ilya. He is spreading misinformation. Okay. I don't understand. My question is, I don't understand why Zach is wanting to bring this up now. I don't understand the point. It's a lot of emails. Yes, I have a lot of emails that I've not read. um, yeah. He's being threatened. Who's being threatened, Cellar Door? Because of the poo touching and lack of pushback. What poo touching, Wyoma? Please tell me what poo touching Nikki has done. Please tell me what poo touching Nikki has done. You think Zach is being threatened by Cam? Cam is literally in ZM's comments. Okay, so that's Cam. Why bring up Nikki's relationship with Cam? Nikki is not Cam. I mean, for fuck's sake. If Cam is threatening Zach, then he needs to take it up with Cam. Wyoma, I'm asking you, what poo touching has Nikki done? Hmm? Right. All right. People need nobody needs to go to Cam. No. Nobody needs to go ask Cam fucking anything. Leave Cam be. The whole video is about how Zach felt about Nikki and the reason why. It was not a general attack on Nikki. But it kind of is, Jamie. That's kind of how it's coming across because he is spreading misinformation. And I disagree, Wayoma, about poo touching. Nikki hasn't done any poo touching. Nikki is being blamed for other people's actions. I'll say what I said before. Getting public information is not poo touching. What you do with that information could be poo touching, right? Poo touching to me is getting personally involved in the girls' lives. I don't think getting public information is poo touching. What you do with the public information could be poo touching, in my opinion. Right? Sending things to the girls' houses is poo touching. Doxing people in their lives is poo touching. Calling their jobs, calling their doctors, calling people in their lives, that is poo touching. Right, the chat's moving kind of quick here, so I am missing a lot of comments, and I'm sorry. Um, what did you say, Zan? What are you chastising Zan for, Ilya? Zan, you better behave. I know you like to stir shit, and you're not gonna do it in my chat. Literally, come on, don't attack Jamie. Jamie is welcome to her opinion. Let's not attack each other, okay? Wyoma says, so you're okay with a random stranger having your personal information that opens to the public, a random person who may hate you? People may have information, right? There is probably public information about me out there. Somebody that doesn't like me could have that information. Can I do anything about it? No, because it's publicly available. My name is on my fucking YouTube channel. There are a lot of people with my same name, right? People could probably very easily find out where the fuck I live. What? That was a weird sound I just made. You know, but like I just said, it's what people do with that information. So I've already told you what some of the misinformation is, Jamie. Um, Spreading information that Nikki and Cam were in a relationship. Um, Basically saying that Nikki is responsible for these FOIA requests. Um, Saying that she's still in communication with Cam. Um, and some other things. Anyway, I am going to finish this video. Zach had, from what I recall, Zach saying about these FOIA requests, it was implied. Have fun with that, Lizzie, at the dentist. Alright, y'all are giving me a headache. I'm gonna... Yeah. Zach implied that Nikki was involved with the FOIA request because she retweeted a request from and it wasn't funding the FOIA request. They already paid for the FOIA request. Yeah, El Raya says at the beginning of the video he implies that they are still involved because of something Cam said in a stream. Wyoma says she is, though. She is someone known and trusted by people who encourage her audience to donate. What are you talking about, Wyoma? Right, Taylor. Zach was being vague in his statements. He was saying he doesn't believe Cam, but then would take what he said as evidence against Nikki. Right. Right, JPDB. That's one example. He twisted Cam by saying he watches Nikki to fall asleep into them being in contact. He's twisting things and being dense on purpose. He put that on the screen. Alright, I'm gonna turn this video on. Not the HRH. I'm not gonna get into that, Emily. Sorry, Wyoma. I may have missed what you're talking about. Don't need to get the body cam footage. So they've already put in the request, Wyoma. Not the HRH has already requested this, but these are expensive, right? Zach was given feedback about the cam sleeping to Nikki and retracted it from the video, so he removed that. He should retract the whole fucking video. Squidney, guess we're dating now. I'm dating all y'all in chat, I guess.
YouTube.
Okay, so I backed this up a little bit. Um, Gas Station Chick says, I'm sure you guys watched the J-Bay footage without issue. Um, I've still never seen the J-Bay footage. Wyoma, okay, you said, Nikki has said very loudly and confidently that she doesn't do things like this over and over again. People trust her behavior reflects that, and she misleads people when she does things like this that are. So you think that Nikki just retweeting, if people want to donate to not the HRH to help with the cost, that is your opinion, Wyoma, and you are welcome to it. I disagree with you 100%, but you are welcome to your opinion of it. Right? If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. And I don't think anything I say is going to change your mind on that. If you think Nikki has touched the poo, then we've all touched the fucking poo. I have, like I said this morning, I have Amberlynn's mom's entire criminal record. I have police reports from Emily's calling the police when her ex held her at Pew Pew Point. Right? I have this information because I was dispelling incorrect information. Right? If getting the public information for that to correct the record is poo touching, then I've touched the fucking poo. I've got my hands all up in that poo because I wanted to correct the narrative. I only used information that was countering the misinformation that was being spread by other people. Right? I am going to finish Zach's video now. I am done arguing with people in chat that are going to continue to have opinions that I'm not going to be able to change. Wyoma says, you have. Many people are shocked to hear this. I saw the discourse about it, and many people have unsubbed from you now that they know you've done these things. And that is their prerogative, right? If people have been watching me for a little while, they will know that I made 2 videos about Amberlynn's mom because people were saying that people were spreading misinformation that she had injured or killed or attacked or something a service animal. So I got that information because I wanted to correct the record. I don't consider getting public information to correct a false narrative poo touching, right? If I've lost subscribers over that, that's fine. I am not going to I'm not going to apologize for it. Right? I'm not going to apologize for correcting false narratives that from people that were spreading misinformation. So, this is weird behavior that lacks empathy. Who, me? So the most you'll do is prove a liar lied. Do you not get that? What are you talking about, Wyoma? How would this person know if apparently people are talking about it somewhere? You know, I don't know. People were lying about it. So I was correcting the record. I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm not going to apologize for correcting misinformation. And as far as not being empathetic, I think I'm one of the more empathetic creators. And I'm done arguing this point. I'm not going to apologize for making those two videos to correct information. What are you calling bullshit on, silly little kitties? I have lost, I've lost 7 I've lost 7 subscribers today. Maybe 10, because I think I gained a couple. I've lost about 10 subscribers. It is what it is. But if people are going to unsubscribe from me because I'm defending my friend and because I requested information to correct narratives, it is what it is. So, you want to talk about poo touching, Wyoma? Didn't Zach share in this video? Sorry, I'm flinging my fork around. Didn't Zach share the tweets in this video of the deed that Kentucky Dad shared? He shared the tweets of the police reports and calls. So, would you consider that poo touching by Zach because he shared that information in his video? I don't consider it poo touching. Oh, they went back and blurred it. Did they? No, it's not deflection at all, Wyoma. It's holding Zach to the same standard that you're trying to hold me to. It's not a deflection. I gave you my reasons for what I did and told you that I'm not going to apologize for it. Right? I'm just saying, Zach shared that information in their video. Hey, Courtney. Oh, thank you, Ilya, for gifting memberships. We're gonna see who gets those. Oh wait, no, that wasn't a gift. I'm sorry. Thank you for being a member. I misread that. So, literally says, I want to know how ZM directly messaging Amber and Roz, whether they were contacted first or not, isn't poo touching. I don't know. I don't know if I consider that poo touching. We may have different definitions of poo touching. I don't know if DMing previously with subscribers would be considered poo touching. I've DM'd with Amberlyn before. I've spoken with Amberlyn privately. So. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of chats here, so I'm not getting some context for some of these things. He deleted what? Who deleted? Oh, thank you, Ilya, for gifting 20 memberships. Welcome to the Weed Whackers. Grandma Kim, Appetite for Your Destruction, Chloe, Cindy, Blair, Gas Station Sushi, Adriana Bear, Gift Fit, Mr. Itchik, Keeper of All Secrets, BJ. Oh, thank you, Hazley. You don't need to do that, y'all. He removed some things from the video. Welcome back and stood. Lizzie 1000, 6 budgies in a trench coat. Lizzie, Haganim, Board Girl, Ms. Butler, Lady Problems. Welcome to the Weed Whackers. You said he considers Rachel contacting Tommy poo touching, so what are his morals? I also consider that to be poo touching, and I think it is for me, it's the reasoning behind it. A space to be safe and for boundaries to be clear isn't me wanting people to hate a certain person. I made myself clear and I've been as kind as I could be. You are welcome to have those boundaries. And that's fine. We all have boundaries that we don't want to cross. I have boundaries that I won't cross that I've made very clear in my videos. As far as the poo touching, I think Rachel was misleading Tommy and trying to get information out of Tommy and inserting herself into Tommy's life. Thank you for that star, Gigi. And then using that for content. That's why I personally consider that to be poo touching. Now, Zach did end up using the messages with Roz and with Amberlynn for content. Oh, thank you for the clapping seal. Why was Nikki and Rosie's Hi, Girlspiracy. You're one of the people that's spreading all kinds of nasty, incorrect information on Reddit, aren't you? Why was Nikki in Rosie's Discord to feed information to Cam a year ago? Was that poo touching because she was misleading Roz as a buddy troll to get information? I'm 99% certain that Nikki was never in Roz's Discord. And she shut her Discord down over a year ago, from what I recall. Girlspiracy, you have every receipt to every claim. Prove it. Prove it. Ask Vicky. Sure. Vicky will be here soon, I'm sure. Your last message. I'm sorry, Wyoma, I missed it. But after the email situation back in December, we all made it clear where that boundary is, and I agreed upon it. You can't suddenly change that boundary because you want to be right. I don't know what you're talking about, Wyoma. I really, really don't. And I'm tired of going back and forth with you on this. You have your definition of poo touching, and apparently everybody else has a different one. Nikki and you Girlspiracy, Nikki has never fucking been in Roz's Discord. So fuck off with that. And stop spreading your bullshit lies and information. Now you're all trying to get a rise out of me, and you're doing a good job of it. So Wyoma, you're saying we all agreed on this. So with the whole thing with the email, that was Roz. Oh, by the way, hi Frank. Hi Cece. Cece, honey, you have come in during a weird fucking stream. I don't think Sparkle Fairy's here. Hi, Laura. Thank you for sending and gifting 10 memberships. Yeah, Roz is fucking eating this up because all of us are infighting now. Everybody is infighting over this fucking little video that Zach made. Right? Roz is just she is eating this shit up like I'm about to eat this fucking salad. Oh, hey, Cece. Thank you for being here, Cece. I appreciate you. Yeah, Sparkle Fairy got a sub. It doesn't mean that Sparkle Fairy is here, though. You thought Zach groomed Roz? Yeah, what was it he groomed her into? What kind of salad? It's a chicken avocado salad from McAllister's Deli. Reddit. I believe Quirky Love Rosie is being harassed. Nikki T bags the poo, all there. Many of you reactors live streamed after the situation stated that going IRL is a red line. Yeah. Going IRL is... You know what? We'll look at your stuff later, Girlspiracy. How about that? We'll take a look at it and we will debunk every single fucking piece of it. How about that? Okay. Okay. Well, unfortunately, Tiny Blue, because they aren't a mod, they can't post a link. Yeah, and yes, Wyoma, going IRL with the people, we've agreed to not do that. Getting a FOIA request, once again, in my opinion, is not going IRL. I am not going to change my opinion on that. You're just not. None of the reactors that I watch, including myself, none of us reach out to Roz. We look at her lies and point them out. She has accused people in Goro World of calling in a wellness check. She has accused people in Goro World of doing this shit. Getting a FOIA request for that information will prove whether or not she's accusing the right people, because Roz has a history of lying on people and making herself into a victim. Right? And once again, Nikki hasn't done any of that shit. Nikki was not the one that requested it. All right. I've been live for an hour and 12 minutes. I want to finish Zach's video. Amanda Savage. Why wouldn't she also want to hear? What are you talking about, Amanda? Foodie is getting swatted, and she's like, "Hell yeah, brother, let's get the audio of it." Did Roz say that? Nikki T bags the poop. Yeah. I think I've probably seen most of your posts, Girlspiracy. Cause you're the cautious range. You're the cautious range account, right, Girlspiracy? Nikki sat right next to Cam. Well, that's kind of hard considering Nikki's in Australia and Cam is in Oregon. Thank you for the super chat, Just Jamie. ZM posted this video in response to comments and feedback that have received in the past few weeks. It was about Zach's opinion and not in defense of Rosie. Zach has been targeted by Cam and has feelings, period. Yeah, well, that's Cam, Jamie. So I don't know why he's bringing Nikki into this. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, he's not defending Rosie in this, but yeah. Nikki is not Cam, but she knew what he was doing and sat next to him for years while he did it. So once again, a lot of the things that Cam did, you got to remember there's a pretty big time difference between Nikki and Cam. So a lot of the times Cam would probably do shit and Nikki wouldn't know about it until after the fact because we have a time difference, right? And you got to remember this is 2 years ago. Nikki has said he brought Nikki into this because Nikki has not yet said. She has said it though, Jamie. She has. And I don't know why he's bringing Nikki into it whenever Nikki and Kim haven't been involved together on YouTube or anything for over 6 months. Thank you, Andy on the brink. Ooh, she saw all of it, girl. Do you know how many fucking people were probably in that Discord? None of us are fucking perfect. We've all made mistakes. None of us are perfect, right? I'm sure a lot of us will look back and be like, wow, my friend did some pretty shitty things and I didn't do anything to stop it. Nikki has said Cam did some bad shit and she's apologized for her involvement in anything that Cam did. What more do you people want? She has apologized and she has adjusted her behavior moving forward. What more do people want? Well, Girlspiracy, your receipts are nothing. Nikki hasn't said Cam's name on her channel in a very long time, Jamie. You know what? I have 2 jobs and I do YouTube, but I will take time out of my days to try to find that information. Now, once again, Nikki has moved a lot of videos because she needed to get her monetization back. But I will try to find it, even though I've heard her say it and multiple people have heard her say that she's no longer in contact. And Girlspiracy, I don't give a fuck about what Cam did. That's Cam. I'm not supporting Cam. I'm supporting my friend Nikki. Right? That was a couple of years ago. What about her interacting with the nudes being shared? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I really don't. Do I think we should be sharing Roz's nudes? No, I don't think we should. But that was content that Roz put out there. And the internet is forever, unfortunately. Well, literally, you'll be surprised what's allowed on Twitter. So I am going to start this video. Yeah, well, good for you, Girlspiracy. Um, Roz did Roz did SW. She did Korn. But then now she regrets doing it, and she tries to claim that she was broomed into it and that it's trauma for her now. I call bullshit. I call bullshit. The only reason people are sharing those the only reason people are sharing those things on Twitter of Roz is because she claims trauma and because she blames everybody else for her own actions. Nikki was in my stream this morning. She could have said it then but didn't. Yeah. She could have. Why did she have to? What is it that people aren't understanding that if Nikki does not want to speak on cam? Right? Girlspiracy, I am no longer entertaining you because you're kind of irritating me. Nikki's in the comments making fun of Roz's body. That's fine. I don't care. How many people have said shit about Amber Lynn? What about fucking Snowflake and his calling Amber's mop legs, right? Y'all are fine with that. Y'all laugh about that. I don't condone body shaming people. I don't condone that. And I would tell Nikki, hey, let's not make fun of Roz's body, right? I can't control Nikki. Nikki is her own person, her own opinions. Right? There are many subscribers that comment on the girls' bodies because sometimes you're just like, wow. It can be a little shocking. Right? So, Girlspiracy, none of your receipts are valid in my opinion personally. But yeah. There's your answer, Jamie. There's your answer, Jamie. If you think Cam is dangerous and he's targeted you, maybe Nikki doesn't want to speak on it. You have defended Roz Girlspiracy. Right. I'm going to turn my camera off to eat my salad, and we're going to turn Zach back on here. And we're going to finish Zach's video. I've given you my answers. And that's Cam. Cam. Oh, why does anybody believe anything that Cam says about Nikki, right? He's trying to get a rise out of people, is my opinion. You all say that you don't believe Cam and that Cam's a liar and all this, but yet you're taking his word on things. Nobody go talk to Cam. None of y'all go fucking talk to Cam. I'm gonna eat my salad. We're gonna listen to Zach spread more misinformation. I'm turning the camera off because y'all don't need to see me chewing lettuce like a fucking rabbit. I'll probably also mute in case you can hear me chewing. You find people in chat? Okay.
She will never accuse anyone specific, but she will allude to it because she will say, the person who went over my Reddit, I'm not going to give them clout on YouTube. So I think that's grounds enough to want to defend yourself and prove that it wasn't you. You're not gonna part of the marginal. Really not going to keep arguing about it. Like, I'm not going to go back and forth on this. I've done what I've done. I've said what I've said. I've never gone IRL. It is what it is. Like, if other people are going to do that and I'm like, well, I'm going to look at it, then I'm not going to keep going over this.
Community, and you're going to keep punching down on other marginalized communities. Like, what are you doing? It's crazy to me.
Another thing that I actually ended up discovering about the FOIA requests for police information is that it actually does go all the way back to the original situation with Cam. And I say that because at the time, Nikki uploaded, for archival purposes, a video of some Instagram stories of Rosie's where she talked about what happened with Cam and talked about how she contacted the police about Cam in the past and wanted to start having a paper trail. At the time that that video was posted on Nikki's channel, one commenter said, "She will never stop making content from this. Never. This is freaking wild. She got exactly what she wanted, attention." And Nikki responded, "When the..."
So I think Zach means when he says the original incident with Cam, I think what had confused me was I thought he meant the original incident. Oh, shit. I hit my space bar. Hold on. I'm hitting the mic with my cardboard box. I think I think when I first heard that this morning, I thought it was about the original incident on Levi's birthday in 2024, but I believe it's actually referring to the incident just this last year in December, because Miss T's comment was from 6 months ago. So I think that was part of my confusion this morning, was I thought he was referring to the initial incident in 2024. Yeah, I don't think Zach watches all of Roz's videos. Sorry, I'm making a mess on my desk. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second, y'all. Well, Jamie, I'm getting back to this video, right? I've tried to answer your questions. Many of us have told you that we've heard Nikki say that. It seems like everybody considers Cam to be a dangerous person, and it seems like you all want Nikki to put herself in Cam's crosshairs. Princess Brioche, be nice. Well, that's kind of that's how it's coming across, Jamie. Whenever everybody comes in to Nikki's chats and my chat now, demanding that Nikki say these things and demand that she say certain things and disavow and do certain things, it really sounds like you all want her to put herself in the crosshairs. And Girlspiracy, she has. Nikki has apologized. Maybe you've missed that, but Nikki has apologized and she has changed how she operates. If Nikki were a bad person, I would not be friends with her. I adore Nikki. I love her very, very much. And I would not be friends with her if I thought she was a bad person.
FOIA requests come back, she might. She has also since then edited that post to clarify that somebody else was requesting that information, not her, because a lot of people were pushing back that this was going too far. One commenter followed up, and I'm paraphrasing this, but they essentially pointed out that requesting reports for if SA was reported by Rosie continues to go too far in the same way that Cam went too far.
Hazley. Zach put themselves into some crosshairs. Yeah, he sure did. Although, the thing is, I'm a teeny tiny channel. I am a teeny tiny channel, and nobody is going to give a fuck what I have to say. Right? Zach is not going to give a single fuck about what I'm saying, or my opinion, or what I'm pointing out, anything in my video. Right? Zach has a responsibility, being the size of channel that he is, to do his due diligence to get information right. He could have reached out to Nikki. Right? I'm just a small channel defending my friend. And trying to correct misinformation when I see it. I am trying to see it from all sides, Jamie, but all I'm seeing is Zach sharing misinformation and sharing comments from people that are unsubstantiated. Sorry, I'm trying to cut a piece of chicken really quick. I'm sorry. Both of my hands are currently occupied. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to cut a piece of chicken in my salad. I'm sorry. So, poo touching is when you get information that the girls don't willingly provide. So the thing is about that, Wayoma, is getting information about a police report, I don't consider that to be poo touching. What you do with that information could be poo touching. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it.
SA was reported by Rosie continues to go too far in the same way that Cam went too far by bringing up.
Sorry, I'm trying to paraphrasing this.
They essentially pointed out that requesting reports for if SA was reported by Rosie continues to go too far in the same way that.
Okay, here's where I started having issues. Is this commenter is conflating FOIA request. All right. So here's where I started getting confused this morning. That's why I backed up to here. The FOIA request that only went back I think while she was in Florida. The FOIA requests were only for Florida. There was no FOIA request made for the SA. That was in Georgia. I am not reading chat right now, by the way, just so you all know. I am not reading chat right now. What, Miss Butler? No one knows her lore more than Nikki. She is her main mod still. What? Who's a mod for Roz, Miss Butler? Are you saying that Nikki is a main mod for Roz? Is that what you're saying? Oh, for Hecate. Sorry. I don't know anything about Hecate. I do know that Nikki is a mod for her, but I don't know anything about. Well, thank you, Elira, for that super chat. Where can I find this comprehensive definition of poo touching for research purposes? It's a good question. I don't know. It's basic empathy. You wouldn't want that to be done to you by a stranger. And you know, Wyoma, I operate on that principle. If I wouldn't want something done to me, I'm not going to do it to one of the girls. That is, that's how I try to operate. And I can only speak for myself and how I operate. Oh, Wyoma, I'm trying very hard to not get angry with you because you're starting to irritate me. My actions that I confessed to don't reflect that. You know? I'll tell you what, Wyoma, if my mother were still alive and she were accused of doing something and somebody got information and made a video proving that my mom didn't do those things, I would be okay with it. But you know what, Wyoma? You are more than welcome to think I am a piece of shit. For trying to prove that Amber Lynn's mom did not attack and injure a service animal. I've already told you that I am not going to apologize for that. The only information that I used from that police report was to correct a false narrative. And if that makes me a bad person, then I am okay with that. I am 100% okay with being the worst fucking person in Girl World if I was able to correct a false narrative on Amber Lynn's mother. No, Wyoma is not Roz. Well, you're kind of making it seem that way, Wyoma. And you are making it sound like I'm a bad person, right? I requested the information. I made my video. I did what I did. I had my reasons for it. I do not consider what I did to be poo touching, but everybody is welcome to their opinion, right? Like I said, in my opinion, it's what you do with that information and your intention behind it. But no, Wyoma's not Roz. Wyoma's been around for a long time. Wyoma is usually perfectly fine. Wyoma has convictions, it seems, and they are welcome to that. I've given you my answer on that, but you insist on continuing with it. And I'm telling you once again, I try to hold everybody to the same standards, right? There are certain lines that I will not cross.
Cam went too far by bringing up
Anyway, back to this. I'm not reading the chat. Once again, I'm not looking at chat. This is where I got confused. Because this person, Vogris, was talking about the essay request, but the FOIA requests that were put in were done in Florida. These requests were not about the essay. And Nikki wasn't the one that put in these requests. So this is where Zach starts going on about the SA police report. So there are basic laws and rules in place when it comes to requesting police reports. Sorry, I'm trying to find my live stream studio. Police will either not give you the police report, or it's going to be heavily redacted with the victim's name not included. Well, thank you for the star, GG. You're going to actually stream. Hey, more. If this is too much for you all, I'm sure Ashley is covering something much more entertaining. This will be here for you all later.
Rosie's sexual assault in regards to emailing her and things like that. And I will say, based on the ways that Nikki was wording this and what she was responding to, it does seem like the initial FOIA requests seem to be, at least initially, focused on finding out if Rosie actually tried to report.
No. This is completely wrong. That's not. I'm going to read this. Vogris said, "This is way too far. What made Cam's actions completely gross and disturbing wasn't just the going IRL, but the going IRL in a way that brought up Rosie's alleged essay. Sending a FOIA about her police report continues what Cam started is disgusting." No, this person is wrong. This person is wrong. And Nikki just said, not me. Another creator said they were requesting it. This is incorrect. Not the HRH was the one that requested this FOIA request. And it was not about the SA incident. It was only in Florida. The SA happened in Georgia. Night, GG. Thank you for the sparkles, GG. So Vogris is incorrect in this comment, and Nikki just didn't correct them. Because Nikki probably doesn't know exactly what was requested, but the FOIA request was not about to do the essay. So this is incorrect. Zach is completely wrong on this. And as I was saying, even if you try to get a FOIA request for an essay report, you're either not going to get it at all, or they're going to heavily, heavily redact it with anybody's names.
Regards to emailing her and things like that. And I will say, based on the ways that Nikki was wording this and what she was responding to, it does seem like the initial FOIA requests seem to be, at least initially, focused on finding out if Rosie actually tried to report her sexual assault. So Nikki responds to this commenter and says, and I've known Cam for just over a year. The one thing he did in that time that I found out after the fact was sending the tea for Levi's birthday. She said she found out about the tea after the fact, even though there are now Discord messages that she hasn't denied happened where he...
Yeah. These Discord messages happened. And it's after Cam did the order. Nikki didn't know he was doing it before. Is that a potato? What? Barbie? Sorry, I was trying to see what Nikki's profile picture was. What the hell is that? No. And Nikki stated in one of her recent videos, in one of her recent lives, well, I say recent, it's been over a week. I was out of the country for a week. She said, I thought he was joking, right? And then she's like, I can't believe Roz went to the door with her phone and doxed herself.
He's messaging her about the Twisted Tea.
And also, how many times have you just responded to one of your friends' messages with just like a lol? Just for like lack of anything else?
In real time, okay? So keep that in mind. But also, she goes on to say, he said he'd never do anything like that again, and I believed him. I took accountability for this and have corrected it now. I'm sorry you feel you can't stick around, but there's a lot of misinformation floating around, and I understand it's hard to keep up and know what's true and what's not. I'll definitely be more careful how I word things going forward to reduce the likelihood of confusion. So again, it's...
Sorry, I'm chewing. Yeah, here is Nikki being like, hey, yeah, this happened. I took accountability. Corrected behavior moving forward. Girlspiracy, they did not. You're lying about that 100%. I'm getting really tired of you trying to spread misinformation, girlspiracy. Thank you, Andy. Sure. Share those pictures, girlspiracy. Prove it. Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me chewing? I'm sorry, Billy. I didn't think my mic was picking that up. My microphone is pushed away. Where, girlspiracy? Where are these already there? Yeah. I think you're full of shit.
Interesting to note that the screenshots that Rosie recently posted were evidence of Nikki witnessing it in real time and her laughing in response to it happening. And something she has said in these recent, like since Rosie posted. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is.
Fuck me. I'm so sorry. I bumped my keyboard.
Likelihood of confusion. So again, it's interesting to note that the screenshots that Rosie recently posted were evidence of Nikki.
Nikki has never doxed anybody, girlspiracy. Nor has she gone IRL.
Witnessing it in real time and her laughing in response to it happening. And something she has said in these recent, like since Rosie posted those things, something she has said in live streams is, yeah, I laughed. I thought it was funny at the time.
She's not beyond faking shit either. And I'll tell you the truth.
After the police event,
I laughed. So I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not really ashamed of like I've changed since then, but I laughed. I'm not going to hide it.
And I also want to note that even though she's now saying that she laughed and that she doesn't feel bad about laughing for it because she thought it was funny, at the time she made this post, I should say, this response on this video, at that time she's trying to make it sound like, you know, the Twisted Tea incident was something that was bad enough that she wanted to be able to trust that he'd never do something like that again. And that she's really shocked and surprised that he now is doing it with the email that he sent to Rosie. The other part of this comment that
So, she owned up to it. Like, yeah, I laughed. I thought it was funny at the time. Now I don't think it's so funny.
think is interesting is that she says that there's a lot of misinformation floating around and it's hard to know what is and isn't true. And I think that that's mostly interesting to me because she doesn't make it clear on what she's alleging might not be true in this situation. It seems like she's just saying like, yeah, there's lots of stuff that's confusing out there. But by the way, I'm not going to clear any of it up. I'm not going to tell you what I think is untrue. I'm just going to say, in general, it's hard to trust anything about this situation. because it could all be true, it could all be untrue. And some other
How are you helping the situation, Zach? You're not helping anything. Maybe if you had like watched more of Nikki's video. I don't remember exactly what was all said in that video, but let me back this up here.
responses in that same thread on
I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not really ashamed of like I've changed since then, but I laughed. I'm not going to hide it.
And I also want to note that even though she's now saying that she laughed and that she doesn't feel bad about laughing for it because she thought it was funny, at the time she made this post, I should say, this response on this video, at that time she's trying to make it sound like, you know, the Twisted Tea incident was something that was bad enough that she wanted to be able to trust that he'd never do something like that again, and that she's really shocked and surprised that he now is doing it with the email that he sent to Rosie. The other part...
Yeah. I mean, Cam said, yeah, hey, I won't do it again. A year later, he reaches out to Roz. Now, did he send something to her house that day? I don't think so, but he sent an email.
Of this comment that I think is interesting is that she says that there's a lot of misinformation floating.
There is. There's a lot of misinformation floating around because people will mishear things or get information from a bad source that's speculating on things and spread it as truth. Kind of like Zach at the beginning of his video saying that Cam and Nikki were in a relationship. Look at that. Look at that misinformation floating around there, Zachy boy.
Around, and it's hard to know what is and isn't true. And I think that that's mostly interesting to me because she doesn't make it clear on what she's alleging might not be true in this situation. It seems like she's just...
Without seeing what Nikki said exactly and what she was responding to, yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there.
saying like, yeah, there's lots of stuff that's confusing out there, but by the way, I'm not going to clear any of it up. I'm not going to tell you what I think.
A lot of it's confusing because Roz tries to gaslight and change the narrative many, many times.
Is untrue. I'm just gonna say in general it's hard to trust anything about this situation because it could all be true, it could all be untrue. And some other
The Discord messages are 2 years old. It was December of 2024.
responses in that same thread on her video, she tries to clarify that it isn't just for reports regarding Rosie's alleged sexual assault, but she does understand the...
Nobody requested the report.
Curiosity radio. She tries to clarify that it isn't just for reports.
What did you say, Taylor? Don't send a troll to troll Cam or Rosie. You'll get Libby in trouble. What are you doing, Taylor? What are you saying? Yeah, I've already fucking said nobody go talk to Cam. I don't need my mods telling people to go fuck with Cam. Nobody needs to go fuck with Cam, Nikki, Roz, or Zach.
On her video, she tries to clarify that it isn't just for reports regarding Rosie's alleged sexual assault, but she does understand the curiosity because Rosie lies, but
Again, nobody requested the essay. Why in the world? Okay, so Miss Saber is asking Nikki, why in the world would you FOIA for her report? That is not okay and absolutely gross. Okay, well, Nikki did not. She says, not me. Another creator said they were. Then who and why throw that out there? Nikki said, I think it's not just regarding SA, but other reports she's claimed to make as well. I understand people being curious and wanting solid facts. She lies so much that it actually drives the curiosity. However, as a victim myself, I'm in the belief all victims camp 100%. Also, for this same reason, I really like to drop the topic. I don't speak much about SA on this channel for good reason. Minka says, understood, but you have to understand how the optics look. No matter who had the information or where you get it from, just gives Rosie more ammunition to attack you and others in the community. Don't give her that power. There's a point where it has to stop. Poke at her for her current lies. Move from the essay and FOIA, please. Okay. So, somebody was requesting the essay report. It was not Nikki. Nikki has not put in any FOIA request. Do I think people need to be requesting an essay report? No, I do not. I think that is inappropriate. Whoever is doing that, that's inappropriate. Don't do that shit. That, for me, is crossing a line. Now, as I said this morning, you can find me in previous videos. I have said this. I have said that I do question the SA that Roz alleged happened on New Year's Eve 2019-2020. I have stated that I question it, and I've given my reasons why I question it. Now, her best friends have said that it happened. So, I altered my opinion. Do I still have some doubts? I do. Because of the way Roz operates. And the way that she always makes herself out to be the victim in situations that she regrets. And I feel bad for questioning that because I want to believe all victims. And I feel bad. I hear fireworks. I feel bad that I question it. Unfortunately, there are situations where people are falsely accused and it ruins people's lives. So, yes, believe victims, but it also has to be investigated by the authorities. I know it's not even July yet, America. I know, it sucks. I feel bad for any critters getting scared by the fireworks. And sometimes as creators, we just heart comments on our videos just to acknowledge that we've seen the comment. It doesn't always mean that we agree with the comment. We're just engaging with our audience.
Simultaneously, she also says she believes all victims and wants to drop the topic because of her own relationship with sexual assault, which absolutely is understandable. Especially if you're a victim of sexual assault, it can be really hard to engage in topics like this. I think it's a little less understandable for her to want the topic dropped, the sexual assault conversation topic dropped, when she's the one that is posting a video.
You just contradicted yourself there, Zach. I can understand her wanting this dropped. I don't understand her wanting this dropped. Also, I'm back to not reading chat again.
Where the topic is Cam emailing Rosie about her alleged rapist. And when another commenter tries to explain how the optics of this situation will look, Nikki's continued response is, I'm desperately trying not to talk about that topic anymore. As a victim myself, it's exhausting. I'm tired. And that's the end of that conversation. I guess I just share this now because I think the response is weird, and because some of the comments on my own video suggested that Nikki has said in other live streams that the email Rosie received from Cam was no big deal. And there are also comments that people have suggested that Nikki has said that is weird, and because some of the comments on my own videos
Wrong button.
suggested that Nikki has said in other live streams that the email Rosie received from Cam.
Okay, here's where I have an issue. So
I'm
sorry,
tired.
I was eating.
And that's the end of that conversation.
Because she has addressed it multiple times at this point, Zach. It's been 6 months. People keep bringing these things up in Nikki's chats, and she's tired. She's tired of addressing this shit. It's exhausting to have to constantly repeat yourself.
I guess I just share this now because I think the response is weird, and because some of the comments on my
As a cis man, you might think it's weird for a woman that has had SA in her past to not want to continue discussing this topic.
own video suggested that Nikki has said in other live streams that the email Rosie received from Cam was no big deal.
Okay, so here's my problem. Oh, sorry, non-binary, my bad. So he's relying on... He's saying that comments on his own video suggested
said in
that
other
Nikki
live streams that the email Rosie
has said in other live streams. So they're saying here, Zach's relying on people in his chat. People have suggested on my videos that she has said this. A lot of people in his chat were people that don't like Roz. And she never said it wasn't a big deal. I have never heard her say that it wasn't a big deal. At the end of the day, Cam sent an email. The content of that email was not okay. Nothing else ever came of that email. Right? And Roz milked that email for months of trying to get sympathy from the community. And it kind of got to a point where it was like, okay, we've all disavowed Cam. We've all said this shouldn't have happened. We feel bad for you. But you're still a bad person.
Received from Cam was no big deal. And there are also comments that people have suggested that Nikki has said that she's victim blamed Rosie, and the reality
That she's victim blamed Rosie. Where?
of all of this is that, much like not being able to find a video of her addressing the Cam email, addressing her relationship with email, things like that, like,
why does she have to address her relationship with Cam? Why does she have to address her relationship with Cam in the past? And why does she have to address it to you? Who are you talking to, Andy?
videos where she specifically talked about those topics. I also cannot find any of these things suggesting that Nikki has victim blamed anybody, that she has been
Oh, hold on. You guys may have been getting an echo. I apologize.
dismissive of how serious or not serious the email Rosie received was. None of those things were easily accessible for me to find on my.
They weren't easily accessible. I'm sorry it wasn't easy for you to find these things, Zach. Nikki had to move a lot of videos. She had to move videos around to get remonetized. So there is a pretty good chance that some of the things that you were looking for had to be moved.
My own on Nikki's channel, and I also asked some people from my own community who I know watch Nikki T if they remembered seeing those things, if they knew of a video, and nobody really seemed to have any. That's also to say that I know that Nikki is somebody who frequently does private content, which is her choice and her prerogative. But if you're going to be on here saying that
I'm so sorry. Let me finish chewing really quickly. Okay. She doesn't frequently private content, Zach. And she only moved content because she was trying to get her channel remonetized. So she was moving content around so she could get her channel remonetized. How about if you're gonna be on here spreading fucking misinformation, you actually reach out to Nikki?
You don't want in her prerogative, but if you're going to be on here saying that you don't want to talk about Cam, you don't want to talk about the email that Cam sent to Rosie.
That's the thing, she has talked about these things. She has talked about this shit. Why couldn't you reach out to Nikki directly, Zach? If you have all these questions, why are you asking your community? Why didn't you reach out to Nikki? Oh my god. Maybe because it's been 6 months, Zach. And we're all fucking tired of it. We're all just fucking tired of it. Nikki has apologized multiple times in multiple videos. I would like to know what words Zach searched for. Maybe it couldn't pick up the words because of Nikki's lovely, beautiful, sexy Australian accent. Maybe that's the issue.
You don't want to talk about your previous relationship with Cam or the ways that you've supported him in the past. If you're out here saying all of those things and your excuses that you don't want to talk about them because you've already addressed them.
Yeah. Yeah, she's already addressed them. She doesn't want to keep fucking rehashing it. He goes by both, T-Swizzless. They go by both. Sometimes I forget to use they. I apologize. Because they do go by both. She has already addressed it multiple times. And why should she have to get into her personal relationships whenever her channel, her content is not about her, and it's not about her personal relationships? Maybe it's Cluster B, you're a little behind. I forgot that Zach was non-binary, and I apologized. I forgot. You think I would remember?
Then I do, and your excuses that you don't want to talk about them because you've already addressed them, then I do feel like I need to know where that is on your channel so I can go see how you respond.
Well, you know, Zach, maybe you can go look for a little better. Maybe it got moved. Maybe it's on the archive channel. Maybe it had to be moved because of monetization. And why should we have to cater to you? I am so happy that you would like to see this.
I do feel like I need to know where that is on your channel.
Do you now, Zach? Then maybe you could reach out to Nikki.
So I can go see how you responded to them.
Because you need to see how she responded to him. Because we need to have Zachary Michael's approval. Is that what it is? because Nikki needs to have your approval to operate and move in Girl World. I'm being a little snarky and facetious. But why are you demanding this? You could just reach out to Nikki.
And unfortunately, it is really unclear to me where Nikki has directly responded to any of those concerns outside of the one community tab post.
Girlspiracy, she has.
That I shared. Unfortunately, it is really unclear to me where Nikki has directly responded to any of those concerns outside of the one community tab post that I shared, which does not necessarily say that she's going to end her personal relationship with him.
Nikki has addressed it several times. Nikki has addressed this several times in multiple videos. It's been 6 months now. It's been 6 months now. How about you don't tell me what to do? Maybe it's Cluster B.
Which does not necessarily say that she's going to end her personal relationship with him, does not necessarily say that she's going to stop communicating with him, but does say, maybe to Rosie's point, that she is not going to allow him to be a part of her channel moving forward. And I...
Is that what you wanted me to hear? Maybe Cluster B? She said she addressed it. He's saying he couldn't find it. Yeah, but Zach is here being like, well, you need to show me where you addressed it. I need to see it. Well, Girlspiracy, I'm sorry that what Nikki has said isn't good enough for you. Alright, Zach reacted to this 6 months ago, right?
I guess the to Rosie's point part of that is like, I do see where she could be like, yeah, Nikki doesn't want to affect her bottom line. Although I do also...
Nikki doesn't want to affect her bottom line. Nikki's only been monetized for a few fucking months, and then she got demonetized. So fuck off with that. Everybody being like, oh, she doesn't want to affect her bottom line. Nikki continued to make content while she was demonetized. Come on now, are you for fucking real?
acknowledge that Nikki also continued making content for a long time, even when her channel...
Y'all being like, maybe you should let the video play. You know, Zach is the king of stopping a video every 2 words. So, how about y'all stop?
You also acknowledge that Nikki also continued making content for a long time, even when her channel wasn't monetized.
Yeah, she did. So why are you bringing these things up, Zach? Why? Love you, Empress. Why are you... What's the point of this? Oh, well, people were saying... What is the point of this video? I don't understand why you are making this video, Zach. I'm still eating my salad while my camera's still off.
So I also, know that monetization is not necessarily Nikki's bottom line, but certainly is something that matters. And certainly, even outside of monetization, I'm sure Nikki is more concerned because one of the vibes that I do get from Nikki is that she doesn't care who covers Rosie. She doesn't care how people cover Rosie. She just wants people to have information out there about Rosie. And so, to that extent, if she did not publicly dismiss Cam in some kind of way, I'm sure that would have made her overall goal of exposing Rosie more difficult because maybe less people would be listening to her. That's all speculation on my end. Again,
Let me hear that again.
it's
Let me hear that again. Oh, hi, Nikki.
and certainly, even outside of monetization, I'm sure Nikki is more concerned because one of the vibes that I do get from Nikki is that she doesn't care who covers Rosie. She doesn't care how people cover Rosie. She just wants people to have
Are you talking to me, T-Swizzle? If you are, please don't call me Diva. Why am I making a video? Because Nikki's my friend and Zach is spreading misinformation about her. And I react to Girl World content. Oh, I know Zach says Diva. I know he does. I don't like to be called Diva.
and Rosie. She doesn't care how people cover Rosie. She just wants people to have information out there about Rosie. And so, to that extent, if she did not.
Right. Nikki does want information about Roz to be out there. Roz is not a good person. Roz is very manipulative. And tries to change the narrative and makes herself the perpetual victim. The more people that cover Roz, the more people can be made aware of her bad behavior. I'm sorry, Nikki. I find the use of diva just overused, and I don't. It's been so overused and overplayed, I just don't care for it. It just irritates me.
not publicly dismiss Cam in some kind of way.
She did. She did.
I'm sure that would have made her overall goal of exposing Rosie more difficult because maybe less people would be listening to her.
He's at the end of his video, Celador. Zach is speculating here. Yeah, right, like the clock it. You're speculating on Nikki's motives. Nikki, I will talk to you when I finish streaming. I love you bunches. Take Millie out for her walk. They're speculating on Nikki's motives.
That's all speculation on my end. Again, it's really hard to know what Nikki's feelings are about Cam because
You know, maybe you could have asked Nikki.
I honestly can't find a lot of places on her channel where she talked about it, and maybe I missed it, and maybe this will be another situation where y'all come to the comments and give me direct links and receipts and things like that. But for the time being, I did spend a lot of time searching. That's why this video didn't immediately come out the next day. It's because I've been watching through Nikki content, and she posts a lot, so I haven't watched every single second of every single stream. But I've been searching transcripts, I've been watching live streams from around the time that Cam did the email to Rosie, and none of it's there. I imagine also that some of this is just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of people...
It is there. Depending on the content of the video, it may have been moved, but it is there.
Talked about how they didn't like the anger in Nikki's live streams, they didn't like how she approached different things, approached different topics and stuff like that. And like, you know, like if it's a matter of like you don't like her delivery, there's not much I can do about that. But in terms of going in real life, I think that this is in real life adjacent. This is poo touching adjacent. Maybe less than adjacent. Maybe it's honestly truly just direct. And I like how she approached different things, approach different topics and stuff like that. And like, you know, like if it's a matter of like you don't like her delivery, there's not much I can do about that. But in terms of going in real life, I think that this is in real life adjacent. This is poo touching adjacent. Maybe less than adjacent. Maybe it's honestly truly just direct. And I don't know that any of this information is necessary to know that.
What is poo touching adjacent? What are you talking about? What are you doing? What are you talking about? Is poo touching adjacent?
But in terms of like, a lot of people talked about how there's not much I can. I think that this is in real life adjacent. This is poo touching adjacent.
Love you, Nikki.
Maybe less than adjacent. Maybe it's honestly truly just direct. And I don't know that any of this information is necessary to know that Rosie is an unreliable narrator, that she lies.
If you're talking about the FOIA request, Wyoma, he's not clear. They're not clear about that here.
that she oftentimes information is necessary to know that Rosie is an unreliable narrator, that she lies, that she oftentimes exaggerates, adds a lot of hyperbole to her stories. And I know this the same way that I know that Cam's a liar, because Rosie's lied about me.
So you're saying that Cam's a liar, but you're taking what he said at the beginning of your stream as gospel and taking it to mean that he and Nikki are still in some sort of secret relationship. Gotcha.
Rosie and Cam have both spent so much time lying about me. I don't personally need to go request call logs from the police to know whether or not Rosie's lying. And certainly maybe for some people
Nikki did not make the request for the last fucking time.
that's not, a line in the sand that they have a problem with. But for me and my family, it's not something that I care for. It's not something that I think is great. And this is on top of other things like Nikki saying she's done like research, that she was afraid that Cam used for some of these things and stuff like that in the past. I am skeptical of Nikki as a content creator. And I do think, especially now going and looking at Nikki's Twitter and spending so much time watching a lot of her live streams, that like she does rest on a lot of like technicalities of like, I don't encourage people to go in real life with Rosie, but
This is really, really pissing me off. A lot of people shared those tweets from out the HRH. Right. I don't think, this is my opinion, I don't think requesting the police reports is crossing a line when you're looking to try to prove if something is true or not. Right? Do I think that information that was irrelevant should have been shared? No. I do think that with Roz accusing people of doing something, I think getting the police report to prove, no, it wasn't us. We did not do this. I think that's fine. Right? And again, like I said, I think intention matters. I've seen the tweet, right? And I don't care. Nobody is obligated to donate. The thing is, this video is calling Nikki out on other people's actions. T Swizzlist. This is all things about things that Nikki did not do. Nikki retweeted a tweet, Wyoma. Nikki did not do the request. And Nikki has never encouraged people to go
I do
in real
incur, like,
life.
technicalities of, like, I don't encourage people to go in real life with Rosie, but I do encourage you all to go give money to HRH to get this body cam footage. So with all that, I think I'm at a place where I can say that Nikki's approach to sharing stuff about the police records related to Rosie extends past what I'm personally comfortable with. I think Rosie...
And that's fine, Zach. It's fine that you aren't comfortable with that. But you're sure comfortable with using all of Nikki's other videos and research, aren't you?
Rosie, like Amberlynn and Chantal, is a known liar and an unreliable narrator, as I just said. And I think that even under the guise of, like, oh, we're trying to clear...
The reason I brought up the fact the information exists is because you all asked me, what information, Wyoma? The thing is that we disagree with you on what you're calling poo touching. I don't agree with your definition. That's the issue. And you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I do not agree with your definition of poo touching.
names and information and things like this, like, it still feels like this is malicious. And I stand by what I originally said in my video, which is I don't endorse Nikki T. Anyways, I said...
Well, good for you, Zach.
a whole lot today. So I hope this resonates with somebody, or this was helpful to somebody, or at least you're more informed now. If you do watch Nikki T, I honestly, like, there's still room for me for Nikki T to grow. Like, if Nikki T is like, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Zach made a lot of good points. I'm...
I think you made shit points, Zach, to be quite frank. I don't think you made any points. I think you used a lot of speculation. You used people's comments. You're trying to get Nikki to respond to somebody that you yourself think is a dangerous individual. And you're trying to push her because you would really like to have that personal information.
I'm down to see if she continues to change her behavior. I would love to get clarification.
You aren't the arbiter of girl world, Zach. You aren't the end all be all. I got downvoted to hell and back on a Reddit post for saying that Zach didn't know everything.
On if she has a relationship with Cam, because like I said, I think Cam...
That's been clarified before, and you continue to push that narrative.
...is a danger to a lot of people on the internet.
Here, right now, you're saying it again. You're saying it again. You think Cam is a danger to a lot of people.
Not just me, not just Rosie.
Do you not think possibly he could be a danger to Nikki, Zach? And you are wanting Nikki to put herself in the crosshairs and put herself in the line of fire. You are wanting her to put a target on her back. Is that what you want?
But Rosie and I seem
Your issue is with Cam, not with Nikki. Do not be putting Cam's actions or not the HRH's actions onto Nikki.
to be the current, obsessions of his. And so I would feel better knowing that she doesn't have anything to do with him. But that's all I
Well, and this is going to sound really bitchy, but I really don't care if it would make you feel better, Zach. But no, she doesn't have anything to do with him. Right?
got. That's all I got for today. So thanks so much.
Mm. Let me switch. Now, I probably have lettuce in my teeth. This video really irritated me. And this video has divided people. This video of Zach's has absolutely divided people. I definitely have lettuce in my teeth. I'm sure I do, T-Swizzle. Don't make me time you out. I've asked you to please not call me diva. Is it cooked lettuce? No. Zach? Zach could have done better. Zach could have done their own research. Nikki has not gone IRL. Nikki has not done poo touching, in my personal opinion. Now I will say once again, I am not unbiased. Nikki is my friend. And to be like, oh well, Zach went back and edited this and changed this. They thought it was too small to read. Bitch, we can zoom in. We can zoom in and find that shit. Yeah, this was a lot of speculation. And not stating that it's speculation until the end of the video. I'm not really reading y'all's chats, by the way. And like there were things like Zach shared the deed tweet from Kentucky Dad, which Kentucky Dad, I said this morning, I'll say it again, I don't agree with you sharing that. I don't think sharing the deed was appropriate. It's nobody's business whose name the house is in, whether it's Levi's or the parents. It had nothing to do with Roz. I personally disagree with that being shared. Zach also shared the tweet of the police calls. Now, there are probably police calls on there that are irrelevant. Right? Right, so Kentucky Dad, here's my take on that. Whether it's public knowledge or not, what you do with it is what's important, right? Why did it need to be shared? What was your point and purpose in sharing that? All right, there are many things that are public knowledge. It comes down to what's the motive? Why are things being shared? Right? I think it comes down to, once again, it comes down to what you do with that information. And that's fine, Kentucky Dad. I don't expect you to care what we think. I'm just saying that Zach is condemning this behavior, but he shared it in his video, in their video, right? And then had to go back and edit it. So it is what it is. People are going to do what they're going to do. People are going to share what they want to share. People are going to put in FOIA requests. People are going to find public information and share it. In my opinion, I think it's the motive and why you do these things. So, yeah, I think this video was a horrible video. I think Zach is throwing Nikki under the bus for other people's actions for no reason. It's putting a target on Nikki's back for multiple people. And just not cool. Not cool. Nikki is a much smaller channel. And this, in my opinion, this feels like an attack, like a direct attack on Nikki with unsubstantiated claims and speculation. So it is what it is. But yeah, I am going to get out of here. And I am going to probably go to bed because it is 10:30. I'm going to be up for a little bit because I'm a little wired now. But I thank all of you for hanging out with me. So, Kentucky Dad, that is something common that is done just when you have to have some dollar amount put on it, and it was just a $10 is probably the minimum they could put on there. You have to have some dollar amount to transfer it. So um so I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, we'll see when Roz goes live next. I still need to catch up on her videos from this last week. So, because I've been gone. We'll see when Roz comes back. We will see. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, be safe and take care.
Rolling across the kitchen tile in that spinny office chair, chatterbait cams running wild with that come and get me stare. Peanut butter sauce drips slow on a double-headed show. 12.2-inch magic wand humming where the lights are low. It's just sex and candy, baby. Sugar rush and ecstasy, Sour Patch and high chew cravings, tangled up in you and me. It's just sex and candy, honey, sticky sweet insanity, rolling through this neon kitchen, lost in pure biology. Anal trainers lined up neat, like a promise on the floor. 5-pound bag of sour sweet, torn right open, wanting more. 4 pounds high chew, cherry red, stuck where fantasies are fed. That chair squeaks a rhythmic beat as she arches off its bread. It's just sex and candy, baby. Sugar rush and ecstasy, Sour Patch and high chew cravings, tangled up in you and me. It's just sex and candy, honey, sticky sweet insanity, rolling through this neon kitchen, lost in pure biology. Screen glows bright with hungry eyes, tokens fall like summer rain. Every moan a sweet surprise, chasing pleasure, easing pain. Peanut butter thick and warm makes a mess beyond the norm. Double-headed takes the storm in this quirky lover's form. It's just sex and candy, baby. Sugar rush and ecstasy, Sour Patch and high chew cravings, tangled up in you and me. It's just sex and candy, honey, sticky sweet insanity, rolling through this neon kitchen, lost in pure biology. Chair still spinning, slow and low. Cam light fades to amber glow. Candy wrappers, sticky trays on that well-loved rolling bass. Just sex and candy, fading slow. Just sex and candy, watch her go.